All right, so let's go ahead and draw this one. This one's gonna be a little different. It's got some issues. So let's take a look at what we got here. File, new, English, standard part. This is an English units. All right, English. I'm gonna start down here. This is obviously a sheet metal part. So I'm gonna start down here and then build up from there. And we'll just go with that because they give this, okay, this dimension 10 goes to this inside corner, or 1 that goes inside corner, I'm assuming, and not out here. We have this little kind of lip right here, and that's telling me pretty much that that's a bend. So, and this looks like this goes to the inside corner as well. It's not real clear, but that's what I'm going to go with. So let's start with this on the bottom. And it's a 1 by 1.5 rectangle, 1.5 with a radius on it. So we'll just put it down here and rotate that like so. With this one. No. 1. There we go. 1.5. Rectangle. Got a radius of 0.5. Put that fill on there, 0.5. Excuse me. Got a bit of a frog in my throat there. Okay, we have a radius 0.21 at the 1 inch mark. We can assume that this is centered with this radius here because this is 1 inch and this is a 0.5. So this is 0.5 here, and this is 0.5 from here to here, and that's at 1 inch. So yeah, that's obviously going to be over 0.5 and up 0.5, which is going to give us the same center as this. So we've got a radius of 0.21, which we can put a circle here with a 4.42. All right. Diameter. Makes sense. Yeah, 2.42. Okay, and then we'll put some lines going across. Lines. From here to here. Perpendicular, tangency, so there's our tangent. Okay, and do a trim. Trim that out and trim that out. And just to double check, my distance from here to here is 1. Okay, that's good. All right, 1. And my distance from here to here, not there, here to the arc. There we go. No, not that. I don't know why it's grabbing that. Okay, we'll just grab the center point. There's 0.5. Yes. Okay, we got it. That's good. All right. Now we extrude this up. It says 0.6, but there's no way on God's good earth that that's 0.6 because if this is 0.5, there's no way that's 0.6. So I'm going to say that's 0.06. Also, we notice we have a 0.06 over here. So, yeah, 0.06 makes complete sense to me. So we'll do an extrude. You see there's a 1 inch. That would be 0.6. So now there's 0 in there. 0.06. There we go. Okay. Now to draw this, we have the dimension 1.12, and I'm thinking it's to the inside corner, but we also have 0.06 to add on to it. I'm not going to do the math. I'm just going to build the thing in dimension to the inside corner, even though the rectangle goes all the way down the bottom. I'll show you what I mean here. We'll put a sketch plane back here on this surface. Okay, and we'll put the rectangle in. Just gonna do this for now. Make it 1.5 long at this point. 1.5. I'm not gonna put the depth on it just yet. We'll go ahead and make this line collinear with the bottom and this line collinear with the edge. Now I'll put the width dimension in the 1.12, but I'm only going to bring it down to here. So I'll go from here to here for the 1.12. Okay. Alright, I just want to make sure it. Surface I'm working on 0.62 radius right here. So we'll do a fillet of 0.62. 0.62. Then we have a circle that's a 1/2 inch up, and I'm going to assume it's 1 inch down because of this dimension here, and this appears to be lined up to this. If we're done well, the center lines would connect. So, and it's not going to be concentric with this, so I'm just going to put the circle in here and put some dimensions on it. 1/2 inch from this inner, 0.5 from here, 0.5, then 1 inch from here, 1. And the diameter is 0.62. 0.62. Okay, so then we're going to bring that in, bring that out, the whole thing out, the 0.06. Okay, so we'll extrude it out. And we want to get the whole thing, this bottom part too. 0.06, are we going in the right direction? Yes, we are. So we have our dimensions going to the interior corner, right there. Okay. All right, so now we have this business right here. And this has got a 32 degree angle. So how we're going to do this is we're going to put a work plane in. And we can put work planes in. We have different planes. We have our, if we come over here and we look at our origin, we have our X and Y and Z plane and different axes. Well, we can add extra planes right here with this command. Excuse me, we can just do an offset a plane from, you can do like offset plane and like pull it up a certain distance. You can do parallel to plane through a point midway between two planes. We're going to do an angle to plane around an edge. Okay, so I'm going to pick this plane and this edge, and then we got, well, that's 90 degrees, and we want 32 this way. Let's try it the other way. Hold on. Let's try this edge. Let's do angle to plane, this plane, and this edge. That gives me 90 degrees that way. And I want 32 degrees. So that way, 32. Let me type in 32. Let me type in 32. See what it gives. It's probably going to go the exact opposite of what I want. Yeah. Okay. What's 32 plus 9? 9, 10, 11, 12. 123. 23. I don't look great. All right. Let's do it the other way. Angle to plane around edge. We pick that plane, that edge, and then. So I want 32 degrees this way, right? So that means if this plane continued, that it would be 32 degrees here. But they give me 90 degrees, and it's from here. So I want to subtract 32 from 90. And 58. I'm looking at 58 degrees, so I have 58 degrees coming this direction, which will leave me 32 right there. So let's try that. It's a little bit of geometry. Now it looks right. So this is going to be 32 degrees here, which would give me 32 degrees here from, you know, that law of convex angles or whatever they call it. I don't know. If this is 32 degrees here, then this is going to be 32 degrees here. Okay. So now I got this work plane here, right? So I can put a sketch plane on the work plane. Be careful where you draw your lines at, because this is the line here that I want to work off of. Let me project that geometry. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's that corner. I don't want to get confused by that one. Okay. And let's go to our previous view. Where is that? No. Oh, yeah. Previous view. Here we go. Look at this plane right here. Hello. Let me look at that plane. There we go. All right, there we go. We got it. Okay, so I'm going to draw this rectangle out, which is going to be 1.25 plus 0.62. So 1.25 plus 0.625 plus 0.62, 1.87. 1.87. Rectangle 1.87. 1.87, and it's going to be 1.12. Also, if we got a radius here of 0.56, so the diameter is going to be 1.12. That's going to be this distance, 1.12. So we'll do 1.12 over here. Oop. 1.12 right there. Okay, good. And we're going to make this collinear. This line collinear with that, and this line collinear with that. Now should be spot on. Okay, now we're going to add this arc here. So I'm just going to use a circle, find the midpoint here, put the circle in, make sure they're tangent. Tangency is important, and that's good. That's good. Okay. Go ahead and trim this out. Okay, I got this dimension attached to that line, so I gotta get rid of that. Hold on. I click on that and delete it. Alright, I can trim that out. Our dimensions should still be good though, from here to here. 1.87. I put my slot in there. Go down here to the slot command, center to center. Go from this center point to about here. Pull that out. Okay. 1.25 from center to center in the slot. So put that dimension on that construction line, 1.25, which will give me what to here, 0.62, yep. Okay. And then a radius of 0.28. So put a 0.28 radius on that. You have that. Okay, now we also have this little cut right here. It's 0.12 wide and 0.06 to center, so that's centered. So I'm just going to draw some lines in here. Put dimension on that 0.12, 0.12, and 0.06 to that construction line, 0.06. Nice and centered now, and then trim those out. Okay, and we have what we want, right? So I'll finish this sketch, and we're going to extrude it back. So I want this to be, on the front face here. So I'm going to extrude it back this way. The other direction, flip that. And 0.06, so there's nothing weird going on back there. Everything looks good. That looks good, yeah, that's fine. Okay. And there we go, we have that. And get rid of this work plane here. If we just highlight it and right click on it, visibility, just uncheck that, that's gone. Or we're going to do that, and it's in the browser too over here. And one last thing I want to do is I want to put a round down here to represent the bend in the sheet metal. So I'm going to come down here and put a fillet 0.062. I'll just go with the thickness of the sheet metal right there, and that works. Okay, very good. And there we have this part. If we're going to be real technical about it, we can put a little slight bend in here, but I'm not going to worry about it because the drawing doesn't really represent it very well. Okay, so we'll save this, and then we'll do the drawings. What's this called? Mounting clip. All right.